you doing, guys? What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome to Art Touch with Carlos. This is going to be a space I'm gonna host with my friends, the artists, to talk about art, all related with art, music, fashion, whatever. And it will be a great space to know all the artists, all the friends that I have, and talk about art. Just get to know us, get to know the art. And this is going to be the spot, the perfect spot, my gallery. So we're really messy right now, but it's going to be fine for the first episode. So stay tuned. Finally, bro, what the fuck? Good night, everybody. I'm Carlos Garcia. Fuck, hold on. I don't even want. Good night. My name is Carlos Garcia, professional artist in the Cayman Islands, and here with my cousin Alejandro Dominguez. How are you, Alejandro?
Yeah, doing good. I'm Alejandro. This one or this one? Perfect.
Okay, fuck. Good night. My name is Carlos Garcia, a professional artist in the Cayman Islands, and here with my cousin Alejandro Dominguez. Hi, Alejandro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm here to introduce myself. I'm an artist, and I once was working as an animal caregiver, but no more. So, new experience.
Nice. Well, the idea is like to have this podcast with different artists, so we can express ourselves not only in the canvas, but also as a person that speak, that have feelings and emotions, and we can say things about. And I think it will be really cool to have this space every what is that, once in a week, I guess. But it will be really entertaining and interesting to have. So, as you know, guys, I own a gallery in the Cayman Islands, and being able to display many different artists, like 35, 36 different artists, and learning from them is enrich my skills, my knowledge, and the energy too. And what do you think about that, Alejandro? Like, you know, you remember when I start here, I was just basically by myself, like my own paintings.
Yeah.
And eventually, new artists start showing up and showing me the art. It's really interesting, right? There's so many artists that are there hiding, right?
Yeah, because it's in a new environment now. You're in the 7 Mile Strip. Before you started on Eastern Avenue, I believe, or on Mirror Street, somewhere around there. That really the environment is a lot different now. It's a little bit more open. You don't have you have more diverse people coming in and out of the gallery, and they're liking the art. You see through the expressions of them, and you get to learn what people like. I think it's pretty cool.
I think that's true, but also it was really important when I saw the space, the open space, like the possibilities of use this open space and let people see the true artist working in his process to create this piece of art, and not only show the final product, and not only show the final product, you know, like at this time people can see the intimacy of an artist working in his painting, and all the methods that they use, or you know, all the things that how they work in their own time. It was really important, I think, for people to see this, to experience this. They appreciate more the artist and the art, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they witnesses the creation.
Yeah, so better experience. I agree. I like the idea when that New Year's Eve party, and it was like a different experience. Made me feel like, you know, I could actually embrace the imagery that I could see, because I had like a picture of memory, and it really connected to me when I could put it on canvas, and especially with me trying out skills of remembering things that I had a long time ago, like stories being told, and then I put that into the image on a canvas. It really helped express it better than how I would explain it verbally.
I think if you create the right ambience for artists, they can get the best of them, and that's basically what I try to do with this space. And for all those that know, what Alejandro was referring to, it was to the art chemistry event that we do in the year, 2 times in a year, and then we just decide to create this space like with a different atmosphere. We call some really good DJs, friend of us, and we set up like a white canvases there, and then invite people so they can experience music and paint at the same time. And you know, as you know, like music can move feelings and move hearts, and it was really important to have that connection and people can experience it, and definitely people love it. Well, you was there, and you witnesses all this magic. It happens that this girl appears from the nothing, and
then just coming in the painting dress, and the vibe just loosely went through. It was like so cool to say, hey, I have this white dress. This is a canvas. It's a free for all.
She felt it, you know.
It was a good experience. I did like that, you know, and it really did. It did boosted a little bit of the confidence in getting to performing like art publicly, like type of thing. Because I would usually be in a room and I could think freely what I want to do and draw, and if I made a mistake, I don't have a problem erasing it. But then to actually make those mistakes and improve it, and I can display that the process wasn't just a picture perfect thing immediately. It was like time and effort that puts into it, because some of the art pieces take about a week. Some could be 2 or 3 days, and then you have the ones that take all month trying to figure out how it's gonna go, and then execute it. And it really builds a sense of confidence.
I think artists that comes to this place, comes to the island, find, just to say, a new expression or a new feeling, because it's undeniable that the island make people feel like a really nice, really cool, really, you know, chill. They forget the big cities, the big noises, and the fast, you know, and go people, and just to, you know, just with the team, with a simple thing to go out to a bar, and all of a sudden you have 3 or 4 friends already there because you talk. You know, and the island is small, and then people had to, you know, get better relationships, you know.
Exactly. I agree with that, because we learning to live in a society that is a little bit, the population is growing and is bringing a little bit of a different ambience in the atmosphere, how I feel. So through connecting socially with people, you get to learn different cultures, especially. To me, I like learning different cultures. I don't have a problem with that at all, because if I was to visit someone's home, I would like to know how they carry their ways, just like how they come to Cayman. And like meeting people in certain environments, sometimes it kind of disconnects you from learning how people act, because, you know, social outside, being social is different from inside being social, because you can be social through art, and it is a learning experience, and then you go social out in the party or something like this. It gets just the vibe. It's fun, you know. You learn the type of things that the person likes or whatnot, but through, you know, through the expressions.
Yes, that's what I really, well, I experienced first as an artist, and then I just realized that the same thing happened to the artists that come into the gallery and get to know that even if, for example, if they come in from Europe or United States, whatever, they bring in their own style to the island. That's the contribution, but at the same time, they modify or get influenced by the culture and the weight of the how the island is, like so calm, so cool, so nice, and you know, and it has problem like any other place, you know, but still they keep the standards, or you know, have the things like chill, like a calm, respectful, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
say, you know, hi,
You
good
learn the
morning,
ways,
thank you, this,
morals.
that, and that gets reflected in the art that the artists get to do at the end, you know.
Yeah.
They start painting happier, they start painting colorful, they start painting with more feelings and the appreciation of life, you know, because they can compare
Yeah.
what it's like to be in their country and what it's like to be here at some point,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and they see the difference.
Yeah, so I feel the same way when I go away. I get a little excited to learn the culture of the people that live there. Like some of my experience personally going to California, I learned that I have to start learning to respect people's opinions first. Because in California it's a very different environment than here in Cayman. You don't really say good morning, good afternoon to everybody that you see on the street, and not everywhere is a good environment. So it teach me like a little bit what I learned here at home, and then it more than anything, it humbled me to start accepting what people have in differences, because I being introduced in another environment, coming back home, I see it and I don't pay it any mind. But then the people that are not exposed in my environment, they're still trying to figure it out in some sense. And art helps me express how I feel about things in a semi-delightful way, because I like using colors. So I found that you can interpret how you see things differently from people just by the way you think. So I use the black hole in my art to represent the sun, because that's how I feel like if we have such a big problem in our environment,
Right.
and if it's the heat, the black hole can absorb it. That's how I illustrate it
Understand,
and
yeah,
explain it to people. But if I was to say that was factual, I would be criticized for that. But through art, it's nice. It really is.
And I like the fact that you do it in a cool way, in a modern way. Like not necessarily we have to think about painting culture as being the same.
Yeah.
You put the same theme, the same concept in a different way, and that makes the difference.
Oh, yeah.
It use surrealistic subjects, colors that no one could think about using it if you think about the Caribbean, you know, in that way, like get a black hole, get a planets around, get galaxies, and then you change basically the light, because you eliminate the sun and then replace it with a black hole. And from that perspective, for me, it makes sense. That's why the clouds get different colors, the water different color, the subject itself is just.
And everything is just like in a different dimension in this point, because these are surreal type of things. This is something that you could just really imagine right now at this moment for us to see, and you have to have like AI helping us trying to work out how this look. And then when you ask AI to do something, it shows you what it wants to show you, not what you want, but you just like what you see. So it kind of still drops your mind from what is possible, because you're just asking something to tell you, you know. So using my experiments and stuff like with color matching. I've been painting cars for almost 14 years, and that be the principle, like a little bit of principle to color technique. And I just break the rules.
When do you start like noticing that you can paint? I mean, you can draw. I guess you start drawing like everybody, you know, like a drawing.
Yeah.
When you now that you mentioned, when do you start feeling like you like drawing, like you feel like you were drawing a lot?
I used to draw in school. I used to draw Dragon Ball Z, you know,
So do I.
Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't really
Especially,
like to watch.
I drew a lot Dragon Ball Z, and also well my comics back then like the Batman, Superman, all these
Yeah,
comics.
these things was actually pretty cool.
I was trying to copy these drawings, and you know that the skillful level of this illustration is amazing. So you gotta it's good to learn from this type of style. Like I think everybody learn through manga style and this comic style drawing because you want to copy the fine line and all these details.
Yeah.
And then you start copying whatever you see.
That's technically how I started experimenting. I started copying styles that I saw in like TV, for example. I used to like rock music, and the biggest deal was the big rims and the lower car. And then I started taking the magazines, the DuPont magazines, and I took the pictures from the supercars and drew them with big wheels and the Everglades.
As a cousin, I remember that you used to used to draw cars, super modified, with a big wheels, with perspective. The car was always parking in a perspective way.
Yeah, I used to love that. I used to love that. It made me feel more of a purpose of when I can modify something and don't have to really follow the rules. Seeing the car. Like my favorite car back when like this was before Hurricane Ivan was the Honda Integra Type R. And man, I was so much in the dream of getting that car, and then I just, Hurricane Ivan took it away from me. I was like, shoot, it's like, man, I lose a lot of the things that I liked. Everything was gone. Nothing was saved, no books, no.
We can experience now that a disaster can change
Yep.
the course of even an artist because.
Oh yeah.
We have COVID recently. Same thing. Like many artists came out around those days, and some others after that they just disappear.
Yeah,
because the effects and so it's tricky to say it. Like disasters can change things.
Yeah. I never imagined.
I never. Yeah, because you just say
imagined.
Ivan. It was a thing, and then COVID was a thing. Effects in a good or in a bad way.
Definitely.
Even the art, I guess.
Yeah, and through Ivan actually pushed the trauma onto me as well, trying to be more socially accepted in an environment that I wasn't familiar with, because through that it threw us off balance in the schools, because they separated the schools in this time. It was like the sections for one group, the next section for the next group. They had different times, and then we had to learn new friends and stuff like that. And I think that it kind of
impacts.
It sparked a little interest into me, because I started doing counseling in school, and I started drawing pictures of like things I saw in National Geographic. So like more realistic things. I was drawing lions, tigers, and then I started drawing people. And what really impacted me through the paintings and how I should express paintings, it got limited at this point, because I drew a picture that was pretty controversial at that time that I had no idea about. So when I started drawing these pictures, I got criticized for it, and it blocked my mind.
Really?
It almost blocked my mind completely. People saw me differently. I acted differently, and then it almost painted a picture, because by me being attacked in school,
it's basically blocking your voice, your expression.
Yeah. So it hindered me from doing any more paintings. It hindered me from doing any more drawing and stuff like this. But then I picked up a different skill, and I got into aquariums and learning how to fix rocks and make like sculptures in the water kind of thing, and then growing corals and stuff like that. So I still did have that sense of creativity.
So basically, as I remember, whatever experience you go through, that influenced you to direct
else.
your way of living, or how you approach your work. Because
right.
I remember through now that we were talking about the cars, just after that you start falling in love with cars, styles, colors,
Midnight
and
Club.
then what happened next
Stuff
is that
like
you get into the painting cars like a full time, and then you saw as a profession, and then that's what people know you to, right? Like
because I still love to modify cars. I modified a few people's car here on the island. I mean, it wasn't a big surprise to me that I was good at it. At that time, I was like, I tried not to challenge anyone, but at the same time, it was like there was no challenge. Then there was like in a small little community like West Bay, being the only Caymanian that could actually paint a car at that time. And then it just experimented into boats, you know, and
Right.
from there it just kicked off. I worked with some of the best people on the island that I know of that could actually do the work and teach me the right
Wow.
way. I advanced, and then I just like, it started wearing me out because the chemicals with paint and the amount of work that I had going on, it was like a never-ending cycle. I didn't realize how much I was getting drained until like COVID started impacting us then. I thought I could tug it through COVID, and I did it for 2 years. And 2022 completely changed my way of thinking, my way of doing things, working, ambition-wise, and stuff like this. It kind of impacted the way I started to think. I started to think a little bit more critical in them times. You know, not comfortable at all. You know, so
I see.
it's like a fight or flight kind of mood.
As some people COVID impact in one way, and some other people impact in a different way. For me, it's difficult to say positive in COVID times, but for me, it was really positive, to be honest, in the sense of my art as
Yeah.
an artist. Like for the first time, I had enough time to be locked in a room to start painting.
I couldn't do
And
that.
that was my happiest moment, because I was tired of just doing like commissioning murals. I came here just to do a lot of commissioning work. I mean, I still do it, but
Yeah.
not as intense as before. That was my main source, because I couldn't show up my art at that point. I couldn't find a proper place or people who were willing to show up my stuff, right? Maybe conditioned by the style of the culture that is, you know, more tropical styles they really want, and at that moment, and I just wanted to express in a way. So for me, COVID time and being there in my room, it was like the best moment for me. I start painting my own stuff, and I share it to my socials, and then people start like, oh, I like this thing, can I buy that? It's really cool, this and that. That motivates me more to, you know, open the gallery at some point, because I knew that I will be like free to do what I felt, what I feel, and share with the people. And if they love it, if they connect with it, everybody's happy at the end.
So
Everybody wins.
So then, in other words, then you're perfectly fine being secluded like a hermit then.
Yes, absolutely. Like I can explain. I enjoy being, especially when I'm gonna create. Time it can be like I can start at 6 in the morning and finish at 3 a.m. And I think, what happened? How much?
I can only do that for a few hours of the day. I can't find myself being indoors 24/7 like how they had us, and reminding myself now when I had to read the Bible for 12 hours of the day and then go outside and
What happened?
like what?
What happens
I couldn't
to me?
sleep. I couldn't sleep knowing that there was nobody around me. I was like, wow.
Well,
they
what-
can't even come next door. If I started having a heart attack,
What
I started panicking. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was happy I was living in a small environment. You know.
What happened to me, I think, is that I you know, like being always working and doing murals, stopped me from developing my ideas that I have for particular paintings that I'm supposed to paint.
Yeah.
And I just accumulate a lot of them. So for me, it was super easy to sit on my easel, in front of my easel, and start painting like a lot. All my ideas is where I already have it in my mind, because I just went like, if I went to get it from the box, okay, I'm gonna do this today, tomorrow I'm gonna do this one and this one, and in that sense, my creativity never stopped. And during that time, you know, I was just showing, and it was a good relief, you know, like having to express all these ideas or these thoughts was the best that happened to me. So all my energy as an artist came back like really, really strong, and you know, I put determination of, I'm gonna get this place. I don't know how, but I'll get it. I don't have enough money, but I will get it.
I started thinking about buying a boat. I wanted to start learning how to fish, because I couldn't do anything much more when the prices of things just started rising, and then my my work started getting more demanded. I started rising my price, and it fit the convenience in it. And then all of a sudden, things started booming back out of nowhere.
But what if
My
what if-
environment was different when I had to paint cars and stuff. I wasn't in that position.
But
to-
what if at this time you, well, I'm really sure that this will happen because I truly believe that you are one of the best artists in the island, and I'm
Right.
being serious about it. I'm not joking just because you're my cousin. I it's about art that I see, and probably what if your name is, get the recognition and you are get recognition, and then what if after that you wanna do a job like a paint a car or this, the demand is gonna be like a huge because your style might
I'll-
probably be in the cars still,
Yeah, I'll agree. Maybe if I know I'm going to regret being the best artist in the island. If that's how people see it, I'm willing to accept that. That's one thing for sure. Be recognized. I like when people can learn new things. So one of my deepest pleasures is to help inform people what I know. I think they should know as well. And through some of my art, now that I'm inside of this art thing, it makes me feel like I can actually send my message a little bit clearer while I try my best to inform people with
I
certain
haven't I
things.
haven't remember an artist that I
Yeah.
was doing this. That's what I'm actually
Yeah,
pointed out
so I
because
feel like it's a
everybody,
natural.
there is a really well-known, renowned artist here, amazing, all of them.
yeah.
But from that perspective, like I haven't seen someone doing like this type of art that you do, where you express socially, politically, and
Yeah.
defend of the society here in this island, and that connect with some people.
Yeah.
Some other people might say, I don't share, but make them feel something at
Yeah.
least, and that
Yeah,
talks
it's a
about
good-
the art that you're doing.
Yeah.
And well, I guess people love your art because they start buying your stuff.
Yeah.
They love it. They feel like they
I was
can have it.
inspired. I was literally inspired by one of the artists here in the gallery that I looked up to in some sense, because looking at his courage to get out there and show how he's seeing the world in his eyes, even if it wasn't perfect, it was impactful to me. Like, if it was impactful to me, I know I value it. People would see it the same way or a different way, and they'll value it. So I do see I see through people's art that it could inspire me also to do work through that. I hope I can inspire people through art the way how I think as well through my art. That maybe someone might come in and say, hey, I had a image like that one day. How the heck did you get it out of my mind,
That's what I always think. The artist should paint with the heart. I'm not trying to tell artists how to paint, but
Yeah.
it's really important to know that you paint coming from from your heart, like
Yeah.
you feeling it.
Yep.
It's okay to do whatever, but I think you have to understand that your main message has to be essential, and if you want to be deeper than that, you have to be really smart to do something really cool
do your
paint something.
researches and stuff.
Exactly. Get to understand the concept, the proper
Yep.
the situation, and whatever, to create a piece of art that
Mm-hmm.
you know how it's gonna impact on the viewer, on the people.
Yeah.
And that for me is really cool about important for the artist to express themselves with the feelings.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter
definitely.
what they do, but it's gonna make you feel something.
Yep.
I think it does. That's fine.
It's like how it reminds me. It's like the flashback of me thinking of people like Leonardo da Vinci. That's the type of people I used to be inspired by, in some sense, the way how they thought, inventing these objects that it was like he predicted something was to come, and this is going to be used in the future for so and so purposes. And then so said, so done. And then when you look, I started thinking, how could I impact people like that and through my art? And I just started thinking clouds. I love clouds. And now we are starting to see natural and unnatural events twining. and it sparks my conspiracies. It's like it entertains me. So when I do my art, I'm entertaining myself and hope that it could entertain someone else. It might be true, it might not be true. It's like fiction, and that gives me the improvement to make this surreal environment.
What kind of style do you like, or you consider your art is?
I enjoy the abstract, but I do like to do landscape images, so like beach scenes.
Well, yeah, actually,
You know,
yeah, you
I
have a
love
lot
the
of
beach. I
landscape.
love the beach scenes because I mean that's all we see, 24/7 sometimes, and
We're gonna show pictures, I guess, and when Jose did this, to show the images, the type of landscape, the type of.
what?
We can, yeah, we can grab.
Which one you want on the bottom?
Just bring one of them so you can show people.
I gonna bring. Yeah, try not.
And by the way, we're gonna have a nice session, tattoo artist here, El Mago. El Mago Tattoo, that's your nickname? El Mago Tattoo?
Uy.
We're gonna have a fine art demonstration from El Mago Tattoo. We're gonna tattoo live here.
So like
Oh,
pieces like this. So like, for example, like this is in the North Sound, and obviously when people look at this as a traditional cat boat, it's immediately noticed. And when you think about the landscape in it, I try to alter it in a way that it looks surreal. So this is as natural as I get with some of my art, and I might get more natural, but the colors, it's supposed to draw your attention into the background, not really the object in the middle.
I wanna ask you, is this like a part of a series of these guys? I know that you paint, and you sold it a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
A painting that I have these characters, the white guy and the dark dude.
Yeah.
And
brothers.
is the brothers?
These ones say brothers.
But
Yeah.
but they exist. Do they exist? And
Well, I know of people that I just put into these scenes, so it's like not particularly anyone specific that was in the picture, but it's something that I would imagine like these two brothers are going out in, because I have a few friends that sometimes they just don't go out fishing anymore, but I could just imagine how they was back then. And they're going out in these little smaller boats like this, catching wahoos in the water, in the ocean. I'm like, what? They go fish like that inside of these small boats, and it's amazing when you see it, you know. So to imagine seeing them now, it kind of opens that traditional.
I kind of I like this one. That obviously the sky is spectacular, and then being able to make it look like it's in the evening still, because you don't use a lot of lights here, so you can tell that it's not in the day.
Yeah.
You know, so that was like really skillful from your side, you know.
I should show the abstract part, the abstract work that I do.
Yes, actually, I loved your
I
abstract,
gotta
surrealistic.
leave this somewhere there.
Yeah, just laying it over here. Really interesting, I think. And you'll see now like the art that this guy do. Well, you should bring
It's a
the other
good
ones,
thing.
like the crazy ones too.
Which
you know?
one? This one? This one pretty crazy with the two cocks fighting.
I'm talking about the surrealistic, but this one is spectacular.
This one was actually I was saying I love roosters, and I have a bunch of roosters at home, and just to watch them fight, spectacular. Like, what a sport. They do this every day. They do this every single
It's
day.
like a
They
sport,
don't
right?
fail. They don't fail. So then I captured it in a shutter speed thing, and it captured.
I can
like,
tell that these rooster here, they build different, bro.
hey, they don't like each other like us, yo. If we was to show
They're
a better
aggressive.
example of crabs in the bucket, just look at our chickens outside and then just imagine that. We just fight for nothing. They just like I got sleep in the same tree as you, and but look at you don't sleep next to her or something like that because I already done. You know, like what is going on here? And then they
So,
just fight for nothing.
A lot
Next morning,
of action in this one. You
Yeah.
captured the real, you know,
kung
fight.
fu kicking,
aggressive.
and then I kind of had this
Isn't the day?
Yeah, this was in the day, so it's obviously going to be very scattered, all the light and
Yeah,
everything.
so the lights
You
here
know?
shine under the,
Yeah,
the wind.
yeah. So this is how I would say abstract for me, because if you look at it from a far distance, you can
How you did this artwork, like a palette? You use palette knife
straight
or
palette knife. Yeah, one of the smaller one, and just started pressing
Really
it and
impressive.
spreading it around, and I just
this came out really cool.
created this.
These colors here.
Yeah.
And the sun.
Just one little patch of grass, and they fight on one little patch of grass, and then they just like jump straight up in the air like 3 feet. Wonder where the heck they got that energy from. If I tried that, no, it would be like, wow. You know, like they back facing the ground and kicking each other like that. Man,
I like. You can get the one that you did from Starfish Point.
Oh yeah, that one.
I think it's only, get it. That's really nice.
I'm gonna.
That's really cool.
This balance thing out for me is.
Where you gonna get tattooed?
Oh, I would have to move the
What
camera.
is oh, you're just gonna continue the one that
Jose,
you.
I would have to move the camera. No, that can't work, yo. I can't work with that. I can show the one I just recently did.
Yeah.
I gonna.
Can I see it? Really cool.
Carlos, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I like that
camera?
one. Bring that one.
Careful.
That's the first one. Yeah, you're right.
let me help you with this one.
Yeah, hold on.
You're just gonna reveal it,
Wow.
Alejandro. Just reveal it yourself.
Yeah. So this one is a recent one that I just did, and it illustrates a lot in this. It's like with the development. This is a part of the collection that I'm doing now, which is revitalization. So this one is the revitalizing.
That how you name it?
Yeah, this one is revitalizing. This is the first one of the few that I'm
So
gonna
how
be
you
doing.
get inspired on this one? Tell me.
The West Bay. That's my part of the island. You know, I care so much. I care so much for the Northwest Point area, especially, you know, because that's the spot that we see all the time when we come in from Georgetown. And when you start seeing the trees disappearing and you start seeing these structures
Buildings
going
and
up,
structure, yeah.
it kind of replaces that thought that we had a long time ago. Like where we came from, this didn't look like this.
Yeah. I guess
So,
everybody agrees. That
with
you
it
like
being
a
so
very-
modern now, with this modern art thing, and we getting into the futuristic kind of styles, I would like to illustrate that when these events happen, this is how we should see it. This is exactly how we should see it. You know, the walls would be broken down.
And that's the level.
know.
The sea level is go over.
Yeah.
That's why the share is in the water, I guess, right?
Yep. And it shows how people like still connecting with the environment, that they would enough to put a seat in the water, where the waves would crash, and you know they enjoy it versus having a wall being protected from it. That's how I image it.
And this isn't, and the wall is just, you're referring just because they are building
All the
basically over
developments.
the beach.
Yeah, and the sea is taking it back. No matter what they want to say, and the longer it's exposed, the less they do about it. It's not going to fix the situation. The planet fixes itself. So, and my message is that no matter how long you wait, it's going to fix itself. You know, the beach is going to come back, and
Yeah,
it'll
you're gonna
reclaim.
better.
It'll reclaim what reclaimed. It should
Yes,
have been.
it's,
reclaimed, you know?
it's like that, has been like that. Like you can't go against that.
No,
You're always gonna lose.
Yeah, God's laws already showed us certain events on the island already, so that what makes me inspired to do it in paintings and say it can happen again.
You have to
know?
put it. I like because you have the colorful palette.
Oh,
You
yeah.
use distract first sign, but when you start seeing the details, it makes sense. It changes completely the perception of how you see the art.
Yeah.
In this one, and that's what I like about this. I think that this is really
Oh,
smart
yeah.
way.
It's a really nice thing, and then the black hole. The black hole does the black hole does capture you in the center of it all, and to ask why the black hole or what, what is it if you haven't heard of a black hole before, and to enlighten you that it replaces the sun. So with our climate change that we're going on with, it's like the planet is hot. How can we handle cool the temperature down in the right way without having to play around with the environment? God would replace the sun with a black hole and absorb all the heat. You know, if we would like to think that it could work.
They're really interesting.
If we could think it could work, I think.
I like this. I was checking this, and one of the things that I kind of curious is that you did like a double perspective drawing, like these clouds going down that way, getting narrow, and then in the background, the clouds that you paint in the back, they go in opposite side that way, and you know it's reinforced by the silhouettes of the developments here. That you do it going that way too. Yeah. So
it's really, coming from different directions.
Really cool. It's
in real life.
Because usually people just go and go one direction on the middle or on the corner, but
I try to get the real
like
life
zigzag
perspective
kind of
thing. You know, it's a 2
like
point.
Your eyes
I got it 2 point perspective. So one of the center of the horizon is like over this side, and one is on that side. I don't know if you remember seeing me using the strings going one way and then the strings on that side going this way, so I can actually get the zigzag pattern.
Some marks,
Yeah, I don't know. Remember we went to the beach the other day and we saw the same effect. You can see it from far to
a few days ago we saw it.
And
the clouds going this way, and then the ones in the back were the other side, and then
so based off of
you capture actually that thing here.
And
it's really
it's
clever.
Just based off of my picture memory, how it looks in real life, and then just to put it in a painting. It might not come exactly like how it looks, but that's the intention. I don't want it to look exactly because I'm trying to do a surrealism art, you know, trying to get the aspect of it.
Really cool. You don't have the one from Let me get that one. I like this one from a Starfish Point.
Oh yeah, but it's the camera is in the way. Camera is in the way. I don't know.
No, you don't need to.
Snake. Oh man, that one is 2 pictures in one. That's 2 paintings in one.
This is what I was saying, that you put elements like a surrealistic elements on a very classic, you know,
this
the
one
scene of the island.
This one I really love. I had fell in love with this one. I still wondering if I should hang
I love
it up,
this one
because there's a little piece of mine in my head. I like this. It was going through a time. I was painting this picture and I going through a time if I don't know if I should be angry or if I should be happy or what it is, and it kind of is this was 2 images. At first, it was one person. If you can see, there's like little outlines of the image before.
So you cover it.
Yeah, because I was saying maybe it's not appropriate. I was still in this doubtful mind. Should I expose things like this? Because what I'm saying, this is their world. These 2 people, this is their world. This is yes, it's based on Starfish Point, but it's just like captured a piece of the island and just took it home with him. And I
just see the planet Earth and the moon. So that means they're in a different planet, and at the same time they're in Starfish Point.
So this image in the area here, it was a cruise ship that dropped the one person off at this location. It said, "This is your world."
Oh.
So I was thinking, well, why am I giving somebody their own world? Why can't I have my own world? Just take what I want, take what I get. And this is what I wanted to carry back home, leave me behind.
Is that their car or
somebody
else?
This is a car because I need a Oh, look here, if you could drop me somewhere without a transportation, who gonna do it for me? I'm not walking. You know, so I still left the car there, like still in the same kind of environment.
So they're enjoying what? They're enjoying the space?
They're just enjoying this view. So all they get to have as privilege is this space with only a horizon. There's nowhere else to go. They're dropped on an island. And they left
paradise.
they left planet Earth. So
It's
this
like-
is paradise for them. This is
like
like
paradise.
after you live in Earth, you graduate to come to your like you would probably enjoy this place. You said you like to be not bothered and secluded in a sense.
Yeah, and that's what I
This
love
way,
it.
you would love this.
Because I
and-
can imagine be there.
yeah, I imagine me too, but I can't go
But you-
alone. You know, I carrying somebody with
You just
me.
need your girl and that's it.
yeah, yo, if I can't share flowers somewhere or another, I gonna, you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think people connect with that too because
Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty
It is
sure
really
that
nice.
many of them has, being alone and
Yeah.
in the water. I guess it's in the night or I don't know if in the day or in the night.
There's no day nor night.
I
There's,
can
it's
see
like
that.
the light is 24/7. This doesn't
I like
rotate.
I like to think about this
It's
is
just-
in the kind of evening or
Yeah.
night because I think I kind of connect better on that night because I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
things and it's really cool to enjoy quietly and looking at the stars and be in the water, hearing the sound of the waves and just be you and
Yeah.
enjoying just nature at its fullest.
Yeah, you remember the piece of art that I did I did it on one of the small canvas after New Year's Eve, and then I could just remember all the fireworks and all around the island how it was like a war. This is a traditional war that we have here in Cayman that I just like always excited to see is like West Bay, Georgetown. Always try to see who pops the most fireworks and who lasts to the end, and West Bay always wins. Always wins. I mean, everybody in West Bay buys fireworks. You don't care.
It's a fight that they
Yeah.
have on December when you go to the beach
Yeah,
and see
yeah, New Year's.
town
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the West Bay in a
Boy,
huge fight.
exciting, I mean, 7 Mile Beach had a close call this year. I was like, wow. So I got excited and I painted a picture of it, and it was so cool because then I never seen the police boat ever in 7 Mile Beach on the night, and it kind of made me feel weird and seeing the police boat there and things.
So you're planning to keep painting or do a collection or a series of with West Bay or
Yeah.
with particular themes?
I've already caught some inland scenes now that I want to capture. The hills, for example, in West Bay. I'm gonna capture all the hills that West Bay have. I love the hills. That's like, to me, it's like a
for
different
real.
environment, and I have no problem sharing it because it's going to be expected when you see West Bay. I'm West Bay, and I don't cater for my own republic before I go for anyone else's. But in town,
So you live in town, but you feel like forever you are West Bayer.
yeah, obviously, I'm gonna carry that home anywhere I go. Even when I was in California, I had to know about everyone in West Bay. I'd be like, you don't know nothing yet until you come West Bay, So it does give an excitement where
So
I can
you
share.
You speak like West Bayer.
Boy, you lucky I'm not speaking to you right now. That'd be under the coconut tree kind of conversation, You got a whole of meds. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Me, once in a while, I decide to paint pictures of the island from back in the days. I love to capture some moments in history and basically portrait,
Yeah.
and making my way at the same time, And I see this is something that I want to give back, the community in the sense of, you should have these type of styles and put it in your big house now or in your mansion, and keeps your feet on the ground and remind you where you come from. And that's my motivation when I decide to, get this artwork. A couple of years I did really nice pieces. I haven't done something recently, but I think some ideas coming now. I collect some great pictures from some friends that they give it to me,
Yeah.
and I want to capture those moments that people will really connect with them.
So when you do things like, say, for example, someone inspired you to do a painting, and you don't technically want to do it the way they want to do it, you modify it and tell them same way that it was inspired by what you was talking about.
Yes, from my own perspective, you know, like I try to emphasize in particular aspect that I see in the picture. If just example, if I just see a beautiful tree there, that is there and it's not anymore,
Yeah.
I try to emphasize in the tree only. So I might probably forget not to paint the rest of the picture, but something in particular that helped me to create the concept of the impact, visual impact, when they see the art. So that's how basically do my art, you know, like
Yeah.
I remember doing this, you know, sepia, black and gray style picture of, I think it was 7 Mile Beach in the 50s or so,
Yeah.
and everything, of course, like there were no buildings; it was just trees, right? But the water the only thing that it not changes the water is keeps the same color beautiful, and I wanted to emphasize in that. So I the only thing that I paint with color was the, you know, turquoise blue color that it, you know,
Yeah.
sea has, and then the rest it was like a black and gray a little bit. So I centered the attention and made people focus on the beauty of the beach, you know, and
Yeah.
fucking take care of it now. You know what I'm
We
saying?
need to. It's disappearing slowly.
we recently saw a bunch of garbage in the just
Yeah,
across
on
here.
the beach walk in the what do you call it, beach access path. That was sick in my head. I was thinking to
A
myself,
lot of bottles, a lot of
Yeah,
Doritos bags and stuff like that.
that
And-
evoked a feeling in me that said I would want to get angry at somebody, but it's like when you see things like that, you wonder like like what is being enforced to protect it. You know, we would like to bring awareness to it, but it seems like to connect with people, to bring awareness, you have to show it to them.
Well, we displayed an artist that already has been doing this, Kerwin Evans. That,
Yeah.
You know, that he, through the garbage that he found on the beach,
Yeah.
he'd be able to create conscious or get awareness of what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
And in that sense, but it's getting distracted right here.
What happened?
What?
What happened? Did I hit a vessel?
Well, it happened that we have a live session here at Tattoo, so it's about art, you know. People are expressing here, and things happen, and
You're listening to the story while we talking
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
enjoying.
next time you guys are gonna have a
They got the
microphone so we
internet.
can have interaction, you know. Because I guess you're gonna keep getting tattooed, right?
A lot of space.
Nice. We were talking about Kerwin Evans' artwork.
Yeah.
It was really important because he started creating awareness of the garbage. You know, he picked up all of this plastic and they create nice pieces
Yeah,
of art.
really good pieces as well.
Actually,
I
yes.
like
the
a
quality
good
of
amount
his
of
art
them.
is amazing.
They had the ones with the buckets, plastic bucket that he gets from the beach, and you can even see the writing on it, the warning labels and stuff like that. But they're all cut into small pieces and put together to make a booby bird or
Exactly.
the snooky fish that they catch is the ones for fly fishing.
just the lighters. Lighters.
Yeah,
They
that
create
one
like
too.
a kind of coral reef,
Yeah.
you know, blending color with just lighters that he collect. You just cut it in half and then glue it. It looks like tiles actually. I thought it was tiles, and then when I whoa.
He told me with
lighters.
plastic buckets and just cut them up. I was like,
No, the plastic bucket was from the one that you say with the
Yeah.
the big fish.
and it had the driftwood in it too.
the lollipop sticks too.
The lollipop sticks as well. It was a pretty good one. He got them pictures off of the magazine.
Actually, here let me show you. Just-
Those ones were really nice.
kind of like, oh, this one.
Yeah,
This is a
that's the one I.
the
That's the one I
mangrove one?
remember. I like the most because of the mangroves. I grow those at home, so anything with mangroves, it connects with me instantly.
he reads.
Is it?
Can you read? This is the information about this.
Oh, you got me reading it.
All right, don't read it.
No, it says some find it worrying that the property developers continue to woo the government with promises and huge benefits to the general public in return for various concessions. So shortly after 2021 election, cabinet denied the proposal to build over water bungalows at Kingston Bight, Little Cayman, and only entities that can consider these applications planning permission was previously granted for the landslide of projects in the Cayman Brac and Little Cayman Development Control Board. So the development of the environment inputs in the technical review that such construction in the marine park is fundamentally unacceptable was apparently taken on board. So when I see this something like this, it shows me that he shows like some awareness of the development that's going on, and it somehow in my field I understand as an environmentalist as well. The garbage is being trafficked in certain areas, so you have certain communities, and I say this all the time when I see things like people picking up garbage and using them as art. The kind of garbage that you find is not local, but where you find them is not normal as well. So you start finding the garbage in the North Sound, where you get it one or two places in the North Sound, but then it gathers there. And then when you think about putting a problem in a community, you don't hear one community complaining about it. It's always the community that is being pushed back.
And I guess he has tracked all this information because he told me like
it almost seems unnatural.
He know where this garbage come from, which
Yeah.
brands are they, who companies sell them, and he have like a big book there, like he fill all this information just to.
It really is nice. I love the mangroves. That's the natural buffer.
So this one he used lollipop sticks and he cut into little pieces and then glued it all together. And
I'm surprised he actually found lollipop sticks that the color that he needed. You know, because
Well,
all of them are different colors, and they are
came like
they are
with 10
plastic,
bags,
so
yeah.
they're not biodegradable or anything
He
like
came
that.
he came in with 10 bags of these lollipop sticks. Trust me, he cut it all them. And
He had time
so
to
these are the
siphon those
original.
out.
These are the original colors of the sticks.
That is
right?
insane, and to get the colors right, I love it. You know, because it's
This type of art,
It
because
really is
I think this type of art is really important to community
yeah,
because it create conscious too at the same time awareness of
good
what's
awareness,
happening. And
environmental.
at the same time, it's freaking awesome. The art is amazing, you know, like
Yeah, it is good. It is nice. I like it.
Really
I
nice.
really love it. I mean, I see things like that. That also is inspiring. You know, to do a impactful thing, because, like I say, when I think of the environment, I don't now since COVID, I start thinking of the environment more like socially instead of naturally, because we changing our environment with the population. For example, we now talking about making permanent decisions for future growth, and those things are irreversible, and the amount of development that would have to be done to meet those standards, it would be alarming when you actually start seeing these things happen, and how long it would come before it gets to an end, because some of these plans that you're talking about is like 10, 20 years. In 10 or 20 years now, I'll be 50 years old. And to think of 50 years old before I can think of an actual legitimate inspiration on this island through something natural, like I can actually get some peace and quiet, like how I could remember it back then. It kind of is alarming with the development that is going on. So anything that I see going on with the awareness of the environment or natural environment, I think is important to not forget that.
Talking about buildings now, I think do you consider that people should be more open to see buildings with street art, with murals, because
I have no problem with
now that you cannot change anything
Yeah.
that is there, at least give you the opportunity to people express, artists express.
I honestly do not think that Cayman, and I could be corrected if I'm wrong, but I don't think that Cayman have any enforcement on the street art. it's like if you are owner of a property and you want to have those street art there, you have the right to keep those street arts there. It's about the developer when you think about it.
Well, Strata is something that stopped me from doing so many murals and, you know, create some cool stuff like for
oh yeah.
people to see. But it always is the situation with the Strata, you know, though they don't want to pay the building this. But I'm saying that it should be more open to these things, you know.
Like more in the residential areas.
Sometimes you just don't want to see these
Hey, you
huge
got-
wall there, you know.
We got some places I
At
could
least-
remember when I was.
At least when the people were, you know, driving the traffic, you know.
Yeah, they have
was
something
always
to sit
kinda-
down and look
yeah,
at.
and look at
Like
and
like
relax.
empty spaces should be occupied with art, I believe, especially public spaces. So you
Absolutely.
got the wall, for example, in Turtle Farm. That big long wall, that is so boring. I mean, I understand the purpose of the wall is to protect, not too much protect, but to facilitate the parking spaces. But then when you go there, they should have little areas where, you know, designated for children to draw with chalkboard, for example. Leave it there, make it get washed away, whatever, but it always leaves a space for them to do art there, even on the road.
I think you,
You know?
give more, yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't be against the law or anything to tell anyone
It's,
that you
at
can't
the same
do
time,
those
you're
things.
giving the opportunity to artists,
Yeah.
people to express. Like it will be like a dozen of artists going out and they wanted to say something, and
Yeah, leave a mark.
they only have the, you know, the wall to do it publicly, and you know that can cause impact to people too, because if you create something really nice to see or something that actually make you think,
Yeah.
it can be for good reasons too. And
Yeah.
in that sense, you can't deny that art can cause a different impact on people's and society and the community. So
Yeah.
just let them paint.
I see sometimes I be like, I see some art that, like, for example, tags. And I look at it and I say, well, you know, respectfully, that person found that spot pretty nice to put it. And I would just walk across it, or I would drive by it and I wouldn't say anything about it. When I think about how many people look at it and say anything about it, as long as it's acceptable to the public, I think it's okay when it come into those things. You can get the permission and do a nice, decent art piece or whatever, right? But not to promote graffiti. Not to promote graffiti, but
No graffiti.
yeah, like
See you see Amanda Lee,
yeah,
she
like
paint this
something
beautiful-
contracted that desired by the public, or
And
something like this, like
and
the
I-
murals you did in West Bay, Papa Top, for example. I mean, you don't find that anywhere too much, too often in any place you go. If you find it in an establishment, yeah, you can. If you find art like that, no, say in the public park, or you did it on a dumpster. Like, say for example, this dumpster is the most horrendous looking thing, but then you made it something that make it look more purposeful. Instead of it being a trash can, you could probably put some bouquet of flowers. I'm not saying that that's something there, but that should be acceptable in the public that you did that, as long as you don't cover the numbers that indicate which code these for.
Little
You
by
know,
little,
like,
these people are still.
I remember seeing some people doing that where they encouraged some people in the United States. I can't remember exactly which state it was, but they was tagging the doing graffiti art, beautiful graffiti art at this too. You know, it's not anything disturbing or whatnot. But what they found is that they can tag these train carts, what do you call them? And as long as they leave the VIN number or the indication number, which one it is, it's good, perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong with that. And they welcome taggers and graffiti artists to deal with, just doing it as they please, as long as they abide by something and responsibly do it, you know. I think that if we can be responsible people and responsible artists, we can have those same privileges as long as it benefits the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that idea. If we could do something like that to introduce the creativity in the island, you start finding people that might have a similar interest.
Of course, there's a lot. I always talk to people, artists, and also there's an international community of artists that are willing to come and be more acceptable to introduce
Yeah.
particular art that they will impact a lot, you know. And we just need to change our perspective, our mind. You know, people who have these buildings there with these big blank canvas there in your face there, doing nothing. It's like a pain. It hurts to the artist that will see those walls. It's like
Yeah.
I cannot get it. Why? You know.
I would
But,
like to see more
But
sculptures.
I think
Sculptures would be nice to see.
sculptures also
Sculptures,
installations.
Oh my goodness. I would
Installation on the
really-
street will be really nice to have. You know.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of corners there that you can install something really
I
good.
remember they had this thing. I don't think they even had to get any permission, but they had this small house, Cayman style house, by the fire station. And I saw recently they had this was in this year, but I haven't kept up with them. They're on Town Hall Road. They was doing the building these houses, I guess, to put in different locations. I wasn't sure if it's going to be in each district, but stuff like that I actually like, when you have a welcoming feeling, like, welcome to West Bay thing. And you remember, like, I think I was talking to you about something like this, making a welcome West Bay sign kind of thing. I don't think we would want to, or we need the permission for something like that, although putting anything up for a certain size, you gotta get planning
I was having
permission.
the idea like 4 or 5 years ago, but I was just thinking about welcome to Cayman Islands.
Or, yeah, we already
But-
got something similar to that already,
But
though.
every state can have it, like
Yeah.
every
Every
West
district,
Bay,
yeah.
every district can have that, like East End, West Bay.
Well, someone got to start it. I mean, I go for Cayman. I love to focus on my district, especially. I contribute back to my community, but I'm trying to inspire more. We're trying to inspire more, I would say, artists to get out and start representing their.
I think if we
Their
put like a welcome
interests.
to let's say West Bay, because
Yeah.
if we say welcome to Cayman Island, obviously it's tourist. Everybody knows that. Take a picture. We are in the Cayman Island. But if you put welcome to Georgetown, West Bay, for example, it can attract people over there. It's like a kind of redirect
need-
the tourists
we need
to
it.
see what's going on over there, and
Yeah.
then I'm pretty sure that people around are gonna start putting their own, business.
It
market,
gives a
market
vibe,
and
a
stuff there.
welcoming vibe when you have a welcome mat on your home, because it's just like if we have this sign with the elaboration of how the West Bay community is welcoming, and there's no place in West Bay that I know of that you're not welcome.
But
So-
imagine if you create something attractive, like let's say you build a nice sculpture,
Yeah.
and then what happened is that people would want to go and take a picture of that sculpture. But
Okay, so
then,
this is an attraction then.
but then around people can start putting their the markets to sell, and then get to create
Yeah.
incomes from that. And that was possible if you do something attractive as a sculpture. The artist has to be there to help to build this, to help
The
to.
guy that had the sculpture,
Huh?
it's like the guy in East End that made the sculptures in his yard.
Yes.
The guy that used to
Okay.
have the iguana, the sheep.
Exactly.
yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
And he did it by his own.
Sculptures.
And he did it by his
It
own,
was
right?
really good.
It wasn't meant to be a business, right? He just did it in his yard there,
Yeah,
right?
that was his fun thing. He had those in his yard, and he said that the school bus. I think I remember hearing about it. His school bus students was like, when they crossing in the school, they always enjoyed looking at the sculptures, and then he started inviting people over and starting to look at them, and he had this unintentional exhibit of his sculptures, and
And
I
it
was like,
was-
wow, that was cool.
And it was through his ideas, like his
Yeah.
art. That's another example of how the art can impact in community at some point.
Yeah.
And they just have to give him the
That's like
the
Mr.
credit.
Joe. That's like Mr. Joe, when the guy that did those sculptures for Turtle Farm. I remember him some years
It's
ago.
amazing, by the way.
Yeah, because this was some years ago. This was like in 2021. I can remember he had this big sculpture of a person sitting down in his yard. And I was like, what? Up in West Bay, Northwest Point. And I mean in Bosun Bay actually. And it was like just sitting down like in a crouched position. I can't, by all means, I have a picture memory, but I can't remember this thing because this was his art. This is his expression. And then to get it in my head now, I would love to see that sculpture again. And stuff like that really it amazes people when they look at it, like a wonder of the world kind of thing, like, wow, I wasn't expecting to see a giant person in Grand Cayman.
Yeah. But that's what I'm
it brings an excitement, and I know people embrace art like that, you know. So I do it. So I
You
mean,
told me that you went. I don't remember this guy name, but you say you went to this house. This guy by what is that road that goes around the airport? Like if you go into Lion Center. That's Welkers. No,
that's I'm not too good with the street names. I can tell you, I kind of have a figure where you're going Fern Circle. I mean, not Fern Circle.
Well, it is Walker's Road.
You're talking about the
Walker's
guy
Road.
with the alien spaceship kind of thing, and then he got like the Egyptian cat out and the dog and all these sculptures in it. That's what in the world? How can I forget this place?
Mister. I don't know.
It's close to Tropical Gardens.
Yes.
It's close to Tropical Gardens, and anyways, I know where.
So embarrassing right now that we don't know
That
these.
sucks. You know, how
And
Cayman can you get? We don't go by road names. We just know where we're going. But the thing is about that person, I was afraid to approach that place because I was thinking just in the environment alone, like that was one of the most like uninvited place I felt. Like this guy is what is he doing? Like the sculptures that you see, ancient Egyptian pyramid kind of stuff, and you'd be like, it's scary. I wasn't even into art like that at that time.
But once you get in, you
when
get surprised about why he was doing it, right?
But I didn't go there still. That's the thing. I'm embarrassed to say that as much as I want to go. I'm going to take my time and go in, and I'll come back to you guys about this
It's because you can't deny it's
It would
unique
be an
at the same time.
experience that, you know.
You can't deny it's unique at the same time.
Hey,
It's kinda-
suppose he believes in the same things that I believe in. I'd be like, what? I thought I was the only one. I don't like to be confirming myself that, you know, what I believe in is a real. I just live in it and kind of like it, although I pretend it's non-existent kind of thing. That's why I like drawing it in pictures, and people be like, that reminds me. I'd be like, I knew it. You know, I'm not just seeing things. Sometimes I see some things in a way that it's not understandable to some.
I'm just this week I've been working at Sunset House restaurant, and you know they have this statue, this sculpture,
Yeah.
deep into the sea, into the
the
mermaid.
The
right?
mermaid one, yeah. But they
I-
pulled that out now, right?
No, it's
Or
still
no?
there. The people go and visit it. So they create like an attraction to go there, and they just dive and make people go and take pictures. And
I heard that the same artist brought another sculpture here to put in.
they have a small one like this, and then they have the big one, which is like a 9 feet tall
Yeah.
or
Okay.
12 feet tall. And then, but what I'm saying, like again, the
Yeah.
art, you know, create an attraction, and then you can go and see it if it wasn't
Yeah.
because of that. And I think that's another example, you know, like a whole arcing, you know, create, you know, jobs or opportunities or
Could be a one-hit wonder kind of thing, you know. You got something very iconic. You don't have to work for the rest of your life.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not that optimistic, but I still like iconic art. Like, for example, the Cayman Airways logo kind of thing. Those type of stuff. I always imagined by me used to painting cars and boats, painting a plane myself. Or I don't know if I would take on that challenge by myself. But to say I involved into design and
I think this
You
man
know?
have the idea of putting this mermaid into the water, into the ocean.
yeah.
I met her just today, and I think he loves art because they give it. I think it was her manager was giving a tour
Yeah.
to all the paintings that I was doing because I was doing a mural there, and he was like looking at all the details. Oh wow! So you can feel when someone appreciates really art. So maybe that's because he was feeling that he was an artist that came out with the idea to put this thing,
Yeah.
and at the same time help their his business to grow, and get money in it. So, like I say again, it's another simple how arcing, change things, and make things happen if you
Yeah.
know how to use it or how to make or how to develop your art.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and I willing to see more statues and sculptures
Yeah, right.
and murals, and I think it will help to make the artists have inspiration and develop their skills. And if you make an environment full of art and good energy around, that will be really really helpful. Like it's not talking about just me, but imagine like a music, dancing, all this is gonna be activated when they have this,
Yeah.
all these influences or things that make you feel like, okay, I want to do this because we have the space. We can have here, a corner break dancing, whatever,
Yeah.
and we can have music here in this corner. Like like other cities, they have all these art districts.
Mm-hmm.
In some way or another, it makes the attraction and community of artists coming all together and create a nice ambience.
Right.
And here it can be the same. They just need to allow to do all these things and start being like a blocking all these creativities from the artists.
I agree with that. I find that sometimes with with how things are now going on with the world, and especially with this time now we recording on the time of election thing, like the environment kind of feel exciting when you think of how art could impact through the ways emotions and stuff like that, because a lot of art for me is like a expression. You won't paint something that you don't feel like painting, right? You paint something that you feel like painting, and sometimes
You can do it, but not necessarily that's considered.
yeah.
You're just showing that you have nice skills, I guess.
Well, I try to keep it as fresh as it can get, because if I start painting stuff that I'm already liking the idea of the climate change thing with the clouds and the heat and the landscape and how it changed and stuff like this. But then sometimes I feel like
So you consider yourself like environmental?
not always want to be a environmentalist. I like politics too, so then it
But
puts
but
in-
do you want to
puts
turn into?
into-
You want to be like into the politics to
Yeah. yeah, like
do-
a illustrative art kind of thing now.
to help community
Almost, yeah. So like
through art.
through art, where you can find people that say, I see a lot of art where it shows people, but what about art that shows certain things that you wouldn't normally see socially acceptable, like marijuana, or stuff like drinking at a bar, but not drinking, leaving bottles out by the dumpster or something like this, and anything that could evoke people. I like those type of art as well. So I could remember, like, for example, there was a couple that came to the gallery, and it was an image of the Queen Elizabeth with the bubble gum. I found it very humorous. I don't know. There's people that might think that it was disrespectful. I thought it was.
When I
humorous.
hang it in the wall there, it was like the reaction was like it's funny.
I found it pretty funny and humorous. I loved it, and I'm pretty sure that if the
I
Queen
just remember just
saw
a couple
it,
came and he was like a pretty upset, like you should take down the
yeah,
thing and this
yeah.
and
And I
that.
was like, to me, that holds the art more valuable. Because remember, I think this was last year, you went away to Honduras and I was here. They had some people come in and you had an art piece with a giant. And the giant had a little kid riding on his back, but he had like a
I remember
cowboy.
that one.
He had like a cowboy hat. And then he was like, I don't know if he was wearing a chain
It wasn't-
necklace or
Well,
if it was like
no,
chains around his
The
neck.
chain was around his neck and the little kid was holding it.
Yeah. So then I was saying to myself, like, the kid was like, he's excited, and then this little thing was like, I don't know if he was planting the tree, or if he was pulling the tree out of the ground. But then you see a lot of trees in the background, so then you would imagine that they planted all of these trees, And I just found like the opportunity to start asking people, what do you think about this? I didn't even want to explain the art to them. I don't know anything about art in this time now.
But I remember that you
know,
make me a video call because
Yeah.
one of the guys wanted to know about
how,
the art.
yeah,
And at the end, he kind of matched perfectly the story, right?
he did in some sense,
Well,
but
some
it was a
sense.
misunderstanding at one point because I found out that a lot of people interpreted it like a slave mind kind of thing, you know, like that giant was a slave, not knowing that giant was that kid.
And the guy, he didn't, like, the guy didn't.
He didn't like it, and then I was like, what? That's pretty radical for me to think that people actually look at art that way. And it, like, I understood then that you can have your own opinion to the art without being described what it really is, and that's what make art interesting to me. It's like the Mona Lisa, is it a man or is it a woman?
For me, it was like me as a child was telling me as an adult,
Yeah,
do the right things.
yeah,
And he was right. He was right in me, in top of my head. I think it was like that on my neck,
Yeah.
like saying, the way they interpret it, like fix the thing is like plant trees.
yeah. Some
And-
encouragement, guidance.
Because in the background was like a huge city.
I think it was a city
In the back,
background, right?
yes, like just silhouettes of
Yeah.
cities, and then the guy was trying to plant trees in the front so he can fight against
Right.
this,
Yeah,
So-
that was a really. I found that I had liked that art. the
So it
most
was kind
of
of
all.
my expression of saying like, okay, you
Yeah,
building, but plant also, create like a natural environments.
yeah.
In some places, even in Honduras, when you chop a tree, you had to plant 5 more,
Yeah, and
That's
I
a
think they had something like that here in Cayman as well, like with the mangrove. If you knock down when you plant 10 or 100 or something like this. I don't know how that went, but I do see that piece of art that you had did. That same one, it was really good. I had like it. It reminded me of a story that one of my Canadian friends was telling me. He was saying that the protest is about stop cutting trees down, and then how it was like well organized. The lumber people that was cutting the trees down, they go by like an area, and he was explaining it to me that they chop down this one area, and then leave it. When they get back to it in 10 years, it would be fully grown again. And then it's just like a cycle, continuous cycling. So it doesn't necessarily
Also gonna have
impact-
something to drink, Jose.
Yeah, I want my Pepsi. Say.
And turn on the AC.
Yeah, so
The tattoo magician is getting the heat.
that's actually pretty cool. Huh?
How it goes?
Yeah, that'd be good. Wait, you have a beer in there too?
That's the last beer.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I really want a glass, but can I have a? Anyway.
Drink that like a man.
Y entonces el aire acondicionado también. El aire acondicionado. ¿Y cómo se apagó eso solo?
Yeah, because it adjusted the temperature that way. But yeah, but with it to explain something like that in that art, you show that the planting the trees. It's nice to know that you had that conscious of a responsible person in the illustration, then that he was planting the trees because the kid was say plant it for the future. Or
Can be created a natural park here in the island.
we do have natural parks in the island.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
they're well
know.
recognized anymore. They're about to
I
be
know a few
developed
ones,
in
yeah.
some places in Barkers, I heard. So we do have national parks. Look at it, Botanical Park is a national park. Is a national park, and we have the Barkers. Yeah, we call it the dikes. All of that is yeah, I mean, you get it right is the dikes. You know, like that's what we all knew it as until they told us it was Barkers. You know, but The thing is, in Pappagallo, we always knew that they had that pond there. It was natural. It was only fresh. I want to still go and check if that was fresh or brackish water, but I believe it's brackish, you know. And if we could bring some sort of awareness as well with the national parks that we have, because that's a trail. You can walk through the mangroves and through. They have like crates that enters into that forest, and then you start seeing some weird animals.
I went to see the blue iguanas at Elizabeth Park.
Yeah,
And I managed to walk some of the, the roads inside
Yeah.
there, and I feel like a little bit like I was in a different place.
I'd like to see one of those blue dragons in the wild. I've seen them in the park, and they're really cool to me.
They're
I was
really
like,
nice guys,
oh,
man.
I was
Really cool.
amazed. I thought they would be like hissing at you and ready to slap you like the greedy iguanas, you know? The greedy iguanas, they face they are. Sorry, those green iguanas, boy.
The bad guys.
I think that the blue iguanas though, they do like serve a purpose for us to remember that like
You can go at cough, bro.
let me go. You go ahead, that out, bro. Ah,
Watch the step.
So what you think, Jose?
Still here, all the way in the microphone, so watch out. I think
Oh.
we should be fine, man. It's an hour and 26 minutes already.
Already?
Yeah.
We talk a lot.
Oh, shit.
You just say it, bro.
all right.
You guys kept it coming.
So,
That's what happened when you talk about art, you know.
yo, art
talk
is a
about-
big topic, yo. Art is a very big topic. I've never indulged into art like that to talk about it. If I was to talk about how it inspired me now to do what I painting, the kind of paintings that I do, that flashback. So post-traumatic stress disorder kicks in. If I do my research at least, you know, so at least I know I can paint something that would be meaningful to me. I didn't have no concern about that picture that I drew. At that time, I just felt
Yeah, sometimes we just
Felt
when we
creative.
are like a really young kids, we just
yeah.
not necessarily the meaning of something is the thing that catch our attention. We just go with other things, you know, like the
Yeah.
symbols that catch your attention. Things like unconsciously go into your head just to see it once, and then you might probably copy. Because I did many things like that, you know, and not necessarily I represent those things, or those, ideas.
Yeah.
But what if I just like the way how they drew the hat? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that kind of thing. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. I like the science fiction stuff, so right, I'll stick with my space. I love the space and
I love space
you
too.
know, astronomy I never got myself into too much, so now I get the chance to have the free time to to research the possibilities that they have out there, and I put it in my Caribbean theme, back to Cayman kind of thing.
I always love
Whenever you guys
Galaxy.
ready,
Ready?
Yeah,
Done?
that's it, yo.
Okay, I think that's it. I think we had an interesting
next time.
chat, and I hope that people are gonna see this, like it, and tell us about what they want us to talk. Well, it's about art, and take it in a coolest way, like not necessarily be strict or very methodic, or but
Yeah.
just having a chill talk and conversation, and talk about art.
I said, I stuck with the space themes. I love the space. It gives me my little freedom. You can make stuff up.
So we're gonna do it
it
every week, every
So-
weekend. So, well, it's about to be spontaneous, You see,
I'm all right with it.
make sure you guys like and subscribe.
and yes, I invite you guys to subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned to what's coming next. What's the next artistic
next
topic?
tattoo to do.
And hopefully we can paint? Can I paint live, bro? Like
And another one we
I can have a type of Bob Ross
some
style, right?
Bob Ross type of thing.
I can.
Cutting now.
All right, they.
Shit, yo, I need to hit a split.
Bye-bye.
Hey, hi guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Art Touch with Carlos Garcia. Stay tuned. Hey guys, make sure to visit us at the Grow Up Plaza and 7 Mile Road, Carlos B. Garcia Fine Art Gallery.